Explosions now. 3 nuclear reactors, a massive fire set to be burning in a 4th one. Radioactive fuel rods fully exposed at one point. Once again, 23 people have received a decontamination treatment. Now, panic over the possibility of radiation leaking into the air and possibly making its way across the Pacific to American soil. Is that even possible? Jay Lehr is Science Director for the Heartland Institute with me now. Mr. Lehr, good morning to you. You have one comment to our audience, and that is this. Everyone needs to calm down. Why?
Because it's virtually impossible that any radiation could move from Japan to the United States and have a negative impact. In fact, the entire horrible situation with the nuclear reactors in Japan is not going to add significantly to the problems of the earthquake and the tsunami. We only have to look at the worst nuclear disaster in history. That was Chernobyl, where there was no containment structure. It blew up. In the end, 10 years later, when all the facts were in, there were less than 10 fatalities from that explosion. Only people right near the plant were affected by the radiation. 1,000 people got leukemia. 998 were cured. There were absolutely no effects whatsoever of the radiation that moved downrange hundreds of miles, as was predicted. It was predicted that tens of thousands of people would get cancer, their children would be affected, and so on. This never happened. This is not an atomic bomb, and people don't understand a nuclear reactor is something very different than an atomic bomb, and the radiation that right now is coming out is being released to reduce pressure in these areas so that the containment vessel is not breached. Likely they will not be breached. The meltdown may continue to its end point, which would be like 3 Mile Island, where it all melted. It sunk to the ground. It melted 5/8 of an inch into a 5-inch steel structure at the bottom, and that was the end of it, and there were no health impacts. There are horrible, horrible problems in Japan, and the stress that this is creating is unwarranted, unnecessary.
Jay, I understand your point that you're making here. And the Chernobyl situation, that design, frankly, built by the Soviets, was a mess to begin with. And the fallout from Chernobyl wasn't known for weeks, if not months, if not years after that. But what we have in the last 24 hours is an explosion in one reactor, a fire in another, and that's what leads to the human drama, because we do not know what's going to happen next. And knowing that we have not been here at this point yet in Japan, how can you safely say that this will not lead to anything we have seen before and the people in that area will be okay?
I can safely say that, having studied Chernobyl inside and out, understanding the way air disperses radiation, understanding the reactions that are going on in there and what is escaping and what isn't escaping, I can say with great certainty that this panic has been horribly overblown. I mean, I can't say that a few people will not have some radiation problems. I can't say that there won't be a single fatality. I can say that it will be minimal, and the fear-mongering that is going on and provoking worse stress than already exists in this horrible disaster is unwarranted, because people do not understand what a nuclear power plant is, and I fault the nuclear industry for not, for the last 20 years, explaining what a nuclear power plant is, so people should not be living in fear.
Are you saying the Japanese did a good job with the construction here, with the containment walls and trying to withstand a 9.0 earthquake followed by a tsunami? Back-to-back disasters?
I am saying they did a good job 40 years ago. This is a 40-year-old plant. It's been upgraded. It's been improved. It was prepared for an 8.2 earthquake. This was a 9.0. They did the best they could under the circumstances, and they're doing an amazing job now in spite of all the things that are failing.
Yeah, Jay, you say the biggest concern is bodies washing from the sea onto shore. You believe that's a greater issue than what we're watching now with the nuclear plant. Why?
Oh, my God, Bill, by a factor of 100, I think that is a greater issue. The sickness and loss of life that may result from the nuclear power plant problems, which I think will not result, are minuscule compared to what we're witnessing.
Jay Lehr, thank you. On the phone out of Columbus, Ohio. Jay, we're going to bring you on camera tomorrow, okay? We will see you then, and we'll try and gauge where we are 24 hours from now, because it's a story that appears to be changing by the hour. Jay Lehr, thank you for your time.